A very good afternoon to you and welcome to Just Africa, where we explore the ideas, the innovations and the opportunities shaping Africa's future. And today we turn to one of the continent's greatest untapped assets, its history. From the pyramids of Egypt to the slave routes of West African countries, from the great Zimbabwe to the rock-hewn churches of Ethiopia, Africa's heritage is not only a reminder of our past, but also a potential engine for the future prosperity. And our focus today is on heritage tourism, turning Africa's history into sustainable economic power. And every government within the continent of Africa, Tanzania, Nigeria, Niger Republic, needs to make sure that all hands are on deck to do that. Good afternoon to you once again. Hello, Olumide, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Brian. Good afternoon. Welcome to Just Africa. So I like the topic we're talking about. Tourism or heritage tourism. It's basically when people travel to a particular place to experience their tradition, their culture, their history, and all that. It's mind-blowing. And here in Africa, we have a whole lot. We have Mali's Timbuktu manuscript. We have Egypt's pyramid. We have the safaris in South Africa. Here in Nigeria, we have so many. We have the bronze in Benin. We have the Olumo Rock.
The Badagry slave routes.
Badagry slave routes. We have festivals, the Ujudeobas, the
Oshun Festival.
The Sheshes. We have the New Yam Festival. We have so many. It is actually rich. We are rich in culture, but I feel it has been underutilized because this can transform into a revenue-generating sector for the government of any particular nation. It would create jobs, it would generate revenue, it would also promote a whole lot of unity among the continent. Yes,
among the Africans. For now, tourism in places like Morocco, in Kenya and Zimbabwe is between 7 to 10% of their GDP.
Yes.
And even as that, we think that's paltry, well, quite small compared to the potential that it can deliver. Well, so let's intimate you once again with, let's go dive a little bit deeper. Heritage tourism refers to the travel motivated by the desire to experience places, artifacts, cultural practices, and the historical narratives that define a people's identity. In African context, it means leveraging the continent's historical landmark, the cultural festivals, a few of which we just mentioned, the ancestral legacies, both painful and proud, to attract the global visitors, generate revenue, create jobs, and foster community development while preserving history for future generations. You know what? We have a prominent guest who's standing by to join the conversation, and I'll be glad to welcome her to join the program this afternoon. But before that, let's go on a brief break. When we come back, the Just African show continues. To stay with us.
At the Africa Development Study Center, ADSC, we are committed to driving sustainable growth and development across Africa through innovative training and research. Our mission: empowering leaders, policymakers, and professionals with the tools they need to create lasting change. With customized training, dynamic research programs, and study exchanges on leadership, management, and other critical development topics, ADSC offers a platform for exchanging cutting-edge ideas and global best practices. We provide comprehensive services in research and consultancy, capacity building and training, education programs, publishing and knowledge sharing. Our esteemed faculty, composed of seasoned experts and researchers, ensures a learning experience that is insightful and practical. We specialize in policy development, implementation strategies, and monitoring and evaluation. At ADSC, learning is engaging and enjoyable. Our unique methodology includes talks, interactive exercises, games, video screenings, and lively seminar discussions, all in a comfortable and friendly environment. For more information, email us at info@adstudiescenter.com or call +234 912 039 2362. Visit our website www.adstudiescenter.com to explore our programs and upcoming events. Africa Development Studies Center, rethinking development for Africa.
Welcome back. Many thanks for joining us. Now, joining us on the program today is Chidima Makauchuku. She is the Executive Director of Novelli Girl, Child and Empowerment Foundation, a non-profit making organization dedicated to advancing education, skills development, and empowerment for girls and young women in Nigeria. Now, with a background in advocacy and community development, she's has led initiatives that promote cultural identity, women's economic empowerment, and social inclusion. Under her leadership, Novelli has worked to connect heritage and culture with development by encouraging young women to participate in creative industries, storytelling, and tourism-related entrepreneurship. Chidima is passionate about using heritage as a tool, not only for cultural pride, but also for economic transformation. Chidima Makauchuku, welcome to Just Africa. Thank you so much. Could you please kindly unmute your device?
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me?
Clearly. We can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. Thank you for having me today.
Welcome. Now, we are talking about tourism and how tourism, heritage tourism, and how it can be a nest within the continent of Africa to be used as a tool for revenue generation. Currently now in Kenya, in South Africa, and in Morocco, it's serving between 7 to 10% of their GDP. That is good, but it's quite small. But first of all, when we talk about heritage tourism, most people consider the negative part of it, like during the show we mentioned in Badagry, somewhere in Lagos, Nigeria, they used to have the slave routes there during the days of slave trade. And those are the kind of places people want to go see. And they use it as a way of generating revenue. So, but are there other places that can be used, or how can we expand this to really have some form of benefit to not only to us as Nigerians, but something that can be adopted within the continent of Africa?
Okay, thank you for having me. Today we are commemorating International Slave Day, and it came with a lot of emotions. We are confronting painful past. At the same time, we are trying to promote human rights. At the same time, we are trying to foster reconciliation and prevent such atrocities, coming in the future again. So the fact is we have a lot of tourist sites that we can benefit from, that we can generate revenue from. It's so immense. Sites that are essential for our healing, preserving memories, empowering Africa, like reclaiming our narrative and indignity, and at the same time generating revenues, like you said. When you go to Doha with what they did, the country prioritized investing in their tourist sector, and it's one of the sectors that is yielding billions annually, generating revenue for them. When you go to Marrakesh, that's in Morocco, they have the Sahara, they have the desert. The most important thing is to value what you have, what's remaining out of the history of painful past. And for us in Nigeria, it's very, very important. We have the Omunike cave. We have a lot of sites. I think what's this place, Zanzibar? They have this stone town, and when you go there, you will be so glad that these people preserved what they have. It's up to us to preserve. The preservation also comes with maintenance. Aside maintenance, upgrading it, incorporating the recent innovations and creativity that is ongoing into what's left behind, and build an environment and atmosphere that people will feel glad to come into. Secondly, is to promote it. Is to tell the world, yes, we still have this kind of thing. So you can come around, put a very discounted price for people to come around. Don't make it so bulky. It's one of the things that Doha, Qatar, what's it called, Maldives, they are using discounted prices to bring a lot of tourists to their state. Because they know if you peg something at, let's say, I'm gonna give it an example, at 5,000 per head, for something discounted accommodation, room services, you have 1,000 people coming. You're making a lot of money out of it, and keeping it neat and keeping it good and making the environment conducive, sustaining what is left behind. So the culture of maintenance is the most primary thing that we have to imbibe as a nation, Nigeria. I'm glad other countries are doing it. So we will not say well, we are lacking behind, so others are also lacking behind. No, other countries are speeding up their tourist sector and they're doing a lot of things. Go to Zambia, they have this Victoria Falls. If you go there, how the water, how the environment, it's like, I've not been there, but I've seen the picture. They call it smoke that thunders, and it's water, a waterfall, and it's preserved. You see, that place even have a social media handle, to be honest with you. They promote it. People that come, they show it to the world. Tanzania also have their own, their national park, where you have animals. We have ours. We have ours, right? I'm not trying to denigrate Nigeria, no. But all I'm saying is the culture of maintenance and sustainability is what we should first imbibe as citizens. So at the end of the day, we can now start saying, okay, yes, we have maintained this, we have sustained it. How do we generate revenue? From that aspect of sustenance and maintenance, you can now start generating revenue. You cannot start attracting tourists. You cannot start showing the world what you still have behind. You cannot just showing our colonial masters, hey, you people gave us some pain, but we are turning it into treasury, we are turning it into value, and we are making huge money and generating revenue out of it. So the most important thing is we're turning our pain into sustainability and maintaining it and pushing it out there for the world to still know that we have this, is still here. Thank you very much.
Okay, yes, Chidima, thank you so much for that brilliant submission. But is it all African countries that have good money and good heritage tourism sites that they can explore and harness in monetary value? The reason why I'm asking that, because if you go to sell such idea to the government of Nigeria, for instance, if you sell it to the Kenyan government or the South African government, maybe they will buy it. But for Nigeria, most times, both the leadership and the people that are being led will tell you that government should give priority to making sure that our refineries are working. Government should give priority to making sure that the solid minerals that we have beneath our feet are tapped. Government should make sure that our vast maritime ecosystem is, taking a very good look at, so that we can develop it to make more money. Not that tourism or the heritage site should not be primary. Do you have a different perspective to such assertions?
Yeah, I have a different perspective, my dad. The most important thing is to having somebody that buys the idea of this site still exists. Now, if you have a government that buys the idea that we have this, and you now have individuals appointed to help such parastatal or agency and saying, we can turn this stone into gold. We have the Zumarok. We have this national zoo here in Abuja, where you have, the last time I visited was a few months ago, I saw a lion I saw some crocodiles. I saw some tortoises. I saw turtles. I saw a buffalo. Now, and the environment, the green vegetation around the environment was good. And I was interfacing with the security guy, and I said, if you are cleaning this zoo twice in a day, please triple the cleanliness, right? So that people will feel so homely when they come in here, and they're doing it. They're doing. I think this week I have my people that came for summer. They will be going there again because they still remembered. Oh, that place was good. We saw animals. So we have museums. We have landmark. The Zuma Rock is one. The Oluma Rock is another one. We have the what's it called? These are rental waterfalls. We have it. We have in Badagry, the slave trade site. I wish they could build something like an amusement park there that kids can come in, expand it, have waterfalls, artificial waterfalls, because we can't have a natural reason. There's no natural waterfalls there, and put some attractions that visitors of all ages can come. You know, we have this wage beach. This Giwa also, this guy called Giwa is doing a great job. He has a lot of attraction sites in Lagos. This is on individual base, not government. So the most important thing is the government to accept the fact that this site still exists. Now let's develop it. I wish, I pray that that concept will come into actualization. Once they channel funds and into it and set up good structures into those places, there's this one Sunrise Water Park. It's an individual investment. It's a private investment. If you go there, it's like a mini Miami Beach, mini Miami Beach. Yeah, a lot of things were pulled in there. You know, it's individual, it's private, and the pulled in funds. Yeah, to go in there is very costly. Good and fine, but it's the kind of investment that it's put there. But if we have a government that says, oh, okay, we want to invest in this, we want to put institutions of housing collections of artifacts, even our Zumarok or Rumarok, our zoo, put in extra things inside it and put it out in the media. That's what Maldives is surviving on. Maldives is an island. It doesn't even have, the population is very small, less than 5 million. But the revenue they generate annually is because foreigners are coming, trooping in. The water they have, they are preserving it. The small vegetation space they have, they are preserving it, taking good care of it, because that's the only means for them to make money. So it's for us to understand that we have these things and push the concept with fund that sector. When we fund that sector, definitely project it, tell the world what we have, spread the message. The world is in a digital area right now. So spread the message. A lot of people are gonna come in. A lot of people are gonna come down here. You remember the Dirty December, right? The Dirty December was so outstanding. What is just clubs, bar, hotels, apartments. We are not bringing in the tourist side. But Lagos generated billions in Nigeria. Imagine if we concentrate funds into our resources, our tourist sites, our artifacts, a lot of things. We have the Rumor Rock, the Zuma Rock, etc., Obonike Cave. It's gonna make a lot of money. To be honest, it's just the government understanding this sector, investing in the sector, and bringing in people to work and promote the sector. The world is digital. Put it out there in the media. People are going to troop into Nigeria, and Nigeria within that sector is going to increase.
All right, thank you very much. So I would like to ask, how can communities around heritage sites benefit directly? I mean, not just through jobs, but long-term empowerment, long-term empowerment.
Yeah, I will give an example with the mining sector. Now, any community that has a mining site there, people, whether private or government, that comes to lease the mining site or buy the mining site, you have a percentage you're giving back to the community. Not only a percentage, sometimes it's if they lease for a while, even if it's on lease, you still give them a percentage. Some committees say you give us some of the minerals you bring out. If you have 100%, give us 20, and you still pay us, and you take 80%. So Such a memorandum of understanding, it can be achieved between communities that have the storage site and whether it's a private or government that is coming to invest in that site. You pay them, you recruit their people into that site for them to work. You give them whether monthly or what is it called, monthly or annual payments. From the IGR, your CSR, you can turn it into scholarships and make sure you train the kids there in the community. There are a lot of ways. There are a lot of ways communities that have the storage sites can benefit. But it's about the mindset and people understand that this sector is critical, that we can do a lot within it, understand that we can make a lot of money within on the government understanding that this is a critical sector that if we prioritize, we will do a lot. We will do a lot. Because it's another way of giving back to the communities that have this, because they experience the pain. Maybe the atrocities of the slave trade, they encountered it. Definitely you pay back to them by whatever you are doing there, your CSR, you give back to their children with scholarship to tertiary institution, primary to tertiary institution, building boreholes for them, putting up structures in their communities, at the same time paying them annual funds that they can use to put up roads, they can put to put good institutions, infrastructures that they can recruit their people to work in. So these things are possible. There's a lot of ways that this storage site can give back to the community that they are residential in, where they are located at.
All right, thank you very much. Second question, how can art, music, and film be integrated into tourism to give that, to enrich the visitor's experience, thereby generating revenue?
You know, our people, our artists, right? These people are leaving Nigeria, going to, you see them going to Paris, the O2 Arena, London, So what are they going to do there? They are going to sing, make money. The halls or the stadium is paid, fully booked. When we as a nation prioritize our talent, build it, the creative industry needs to be extra active doing more than what they are doing. When we prioritize that creative industry, aside the actors, the singers, the actors, the movie producers, the creatives, when we prioritize them and build our local talent, people will come to Nigeria to take, they will take, or not that they will not take, they will take. But when we give them a memorandum of understanding on the what you can take and what can go out, and make sure that majority is invested back in the country, where we have, you see the cultural activity that happens annually. They invite artists, but they still use their local talent to, to make people to come into the country. If we can put that in and have something like that, it will generate revenue. You have one annual music concept, Afrobeat. We are the leading force when it comes to Afrobeat in Nigeria. Africa, in fact, the whole world, not only Africa. If you have an annual event funded by the government, truly plan with global standards. You see people, it will come in, maybe fix it in around the date of December in Lagos or Abuja or any other state, Port Harcourt, these are the big forces, or and people, and make the whole nations to know that this is our project. We can do this. A year, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, you see tourists, you see that sector boom. You see foreigners coming in, knowing, hey, this is what is done in Nigeria every year. Hey, I got to go down there. It happens, and it's not something that will boom at first, but give it 1, 2, 3 years, it will boom, and the whole world will know this is what Nigeria does every year. So it's possible. Our music, our talent can get us, can get our IGR increased, can get everything up for our goods, and we remove our mind from the oil. Because we need to remove our mind from the oil, and the oil, as of the estimated now, is not even much and cannot even take us on a long time, right? So we need to diversify. Everybody is saying agriculture, but the banditry and insecurity is actually doing a lot that is not allowing people to concentrate on the farming. So we need to diversify and go into the talent hunting and music like you highlighted on. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Now, I like you were painting a picture. In fact, if you were the Minister of Tourism and, if you were the Minister of Tourism, probably it would be seen, I perceive you speaking to potential investors who will listen to you and the way you speak and feels that, oh, there's really a potential here, in, not just in Nigeria, but in Africa to come invest in. But do you think we Africans, we have really made our continent more appealing, friendly, and receptive to investors who can come in with their huge financial chest to tailor their investment towards our tourism industry? Do you think we've done our homework? Do you think we have the required infrastructure already laid down? Do you think we have created an investment-friendly ecosystem in Africa, in the tourism industry, for foreign direct investors and foreign portfolio investors to come into the country to want to put their money? Do you think we have painted ourselves in that picture?
I would say we are not doing bad. We are not there. Yeah, on an honest note, we are not there. But we're not doing bad. We just need to buckle up. Africa as a continent. You know, when you see what Morocco is doing, Doha is doing, Egypt, South Africa, Nigeria, yeah, we say we are in the list of options, but we need to buckle up. The infrastructure, it's not yet there. If I use Nigeria as an example, the infrastructure-wise, when it comes to tourism, it's not yet there. And the individuals or the private sector cannot do it alone. You need government funding to put into it. You need to prioritize it. Like, it's a matter of having a need and prioritizing the need and funding the need, and at the same time implementing or putting in factors that we had the need to be solved. So once the government funds that sector with infrastructure, the right revenue, immigration policies that will be conducive for people to come in and go, you know, making sure everything is good, we can keep it up and keep going. We are not yet there, but we will get there. We are not doing that bad. The world is innovating. The trajectory is going so global with a lot of creativity. And Nigerians are saying it. So even if the government doesn't want to take the lead, we thank God for some private individuals that feel like that a lot. In Abuja, we have White Nigeria. He put up there's this park in Gariki where he put up a lot of investment inside. It's a private individual. I wish the government can have. If we have something like that, government did 2 or 3, we are good. In Lagos, Giwa is doing another strong thing. An individual, Giwa Gardens, the Giwa Beach. We have a lot that Ziga. Ziga is another in Lagos too. So individuals are leading that sector in the tourism sector. When government comes in and help, we'll be good. We'll be good. It's just for us to put up the good structure, back it up with funding, and at the end of the day, make sure our immigration policies are good for people to come in, tourists to come in, and provide an secured environment, enabling environment for them to stay and enjoy the atmosphere and sustain what we have, maintain it at the same time, and we're going to be good. I pray. You know, we have a lot of people that want to invest in Africa when it comes to our tourist sector. Yeah, we have some behaviors from our leaders that are a little bit crazy, but we will not say they are that bad, so let all of us be bad. No. So we will say, please improve, do your best, make the environment enabling for everybody so that the investment in that sector will increase, even if the government doesn't want to lead it. We have a lot of private individuals, foreign investors and interested in that sector, collaborating with other private Nigerians that are doing it. But I pray the government leads that sector very well, very well. Thank you.
Okay, now let me paint a scenario for you. Recently in Kenya, there's a wide protest from Kenya. Middle class, young Kenyans were protesting government inefficiency, policy somersault, and an uncomfortable environment that actually hinders the young Africans from making financial and economic progress. So there was a wide protest going on there. I'm painting that picture because I equally want to make reference to what currently happened. The United States of America has said that there was a recent review on immigration policy where not only your social media handles as those who are immigrating to America will only show, but Nigeria has just been dealt a heavy blow by the current Donald Trump administration, and Nigerians too have reciprocated that we are also going to restrict it to 3 months for Americans recently. All these seem to be serving as bottlenecks that will hinder investors from coming, or that will serve as a disincentive for investors to want to come into the continent. Because even if you go to South Africa, you have social activities that might, stare the potential investor on the face, most especially foreign investors, whom we expect to bring in a lot of equity and liquidity into the economy to invest. Do you think the government should tow another policy direction, most especially with recent policy with regards to America and Nigeria, not to reciprocate, or is there a best approach that the government can deploy so that we can just keep on attracting foreign direct investment?
Okay. On that, I think I always go in with diplomacy. Yeah, the country, the president Donald Trump has given it some verdicts on Nigeria because of some individuals, citizens, that have played or displayed some acts that they felt like majority of those people are not behaving well, because it's people that contributed to this, right? It's people behaviors, some citizens there might have done one or two, and the high rate might to get the government to say, hey, we are putting a hold on this, or we are banning this, or we are limiting this. The best thing Nigeria can do is to have a sit and talk diplomatically as a sovereign nation to say, okay, this. And I'm glad Nigeria reciprocated, though in a mild way. Yeah, in a mild way, but that shows, hey, we are not a country that you just work on. I believe that they should bring more deterrence to US, maybe for a year, and let's see how it goes. Because if you try to show the Western world that you are weak, they will stamp on you, they will work on you, and you will do nothing. America is there as a big one of the G7, the G5 strongest nations in the world, but we still have other nations, right? Of recent, they have stepped down, withdraw hands when it comes to funding USID and a lot of things, and the world is still moving. That's the president. That's what he wants to do. That's how he feels he can lead his people. So you just give him time, let him do what he wants to do, and you reciprocate in doing what you think best for your nation, and walk over and see other countries that we have a lot of. China is coming in. We have Japan. We have some Asian countries within Europe. A lot of countries. If you see one, it's not is trying to play a kind of role, you switch to others. And I know with dialogue and diplomacy, all these steps can be lightened to not be that heavy. Yeah, it will deprive or make investors not to come. But we won't give up, right? Nigeria is a strong nation. We explore other ways. I'm just trying to sound diplomatic because president comes, president, this is how I want to go. So nations, you have to obey, or you have to reciprocate, or you have to show, let's sit down and talk over this. How do we handle this? And I believe diplomacy will lead. The foreign minister is doing a great job. He knows his work. He just for him to sit down with the ambassador here in Nigeria, interface with the embassy there, and keep on talking. The world goes with dialogue. Dialogue and diplomacy is the way out. Create reasons why you should lighten the sanctions or lighten the bans, and how we are going to reciprocate and make sure our people don't abuse the rights you are giving them. These are just something you sit down on the table and talk about and explore other nations. We have other nations interested in Africa to invest in us. So we are all good.
I have two questions in one. The first question is, now looking ahead, what investments or policies would you say are most urgent to unlock the economic power in the tourism sector? And secondly, how do you see partnerships, international organizations, in unlocking or shaping the growth of this sector?
Okay. On the partnership aspect is to make sure that whatever they are investing, they are not depriving you of your resources. and they're not taking more than you. And I was the national program manager for shelter for the vulnerable population. We had an investor from US that wanted to invest in that sector, and he's to put up a factory in one of the locations. I would say the community people are going to be the people you will recruit. If you have 80%, 100% workers, 50% community people, you give back to them. The CSR, you have to work on it for them. We have to make sure that the MOU is not depriving the community because they own the raw resources that you're coming to invest or take. So whatever partnership that is going to go in that sector, there must be an upper hand from the Nigerian side. You are coming to invest, but you're not going to own all our shares. The equity, the government must have a stake, the government must have a stake, the local community must have a stake. And that goes to all and beyond. When it comes to the most critical thing to invest in is creativity. You know, we have a lot of unemployed youth. I have this book I'm working on skill beyond hustle, right? Where Nigerians moving away from um, the white collar jobs and exploring other options, the trajectory where the world is going, which will soon be out in a few months. The aim is to put the picture right from primary, secondary school that in as much as you have a plan A to be a medical doctor, there must be a plan B, C built with skills. Cybersecurity, a lot is going on. The innovation are already, Nigeria, let's say we are 2 times backward. A lot is going on in the world. So our youth should have that in mind. So the creativity sector must be explored. Put all these creatives under one forum, under one sector, manage them. Many of them are in the hands of private individuals, private agencies. Let the government come in and manage this thing. Aside from funding them, when the ones that can go beyond or upgrade, you also make sure you give them the security and the enabling environment, create spaces they can come in and network and collaborate and build something. I was glad when I saw a publication, I think it's a video, a documentary on CNN, where two young guys, Nigerians, they have a factory here in Atidu in Abuja. Drones, they are producing drones. And I'm like, God of heaven. Now, the funny sort of it is that these two boys raised funding. The seed funding came from investors that from the diaspora. Now, how will I put it? If we have the government coming in into the creative sector, the digital economy sector, and picking young youth like this that know how to build engineering experts, innovation experts, technology experts, and can put things together and train them and groom them and own them as assets. That's why you see many of our people there with once American notice there is this talent, there is this gift out there. My dear, I have a couple of friends. They put you there. You're going to be there for a long time. Vacation may be a week, few days, and you are monitoring even why outside their country until you are back. Because they discover talent and they pick it from early stage, and you're going to stay there till whenever agreement you have with them. So there is need to discover talent and put them under a forum, groom them, nurture them. Government um, 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 prioritizing this and government, how will I put it, taking the responsibility, not only the private sector, taking the responsibility of these children, of these youths that are coming in. And then security must be enabled, right? Give them secured environment and assign secured environment, fund them, monitor what is going on, create a good. You know, we have the creative and digital economy ministry. Yeah, they're trying their best, but they need to do more. They need to do more. Give from there, you can put these kids under a platform that they can work for people in the diaspora from Nigeria, earn their money in foreign currencies, and still be good. The same thing people are doing with Fiverr, Upwork, and the rest. You build it as a nation, as a country, and you own it, and your children are under it, your youth are because we are more than going to 65% of the population, and it's a concern. It's a concern, right? You need to prioritize this talent early because it's one of the issues we have when it comes to nuisance in the society because you don't groom these kids. Maybe they find a niche, a bad one, a social hill they occupy it. And at the end of the day, they end up creating nuisance for everybody. Even the people that you send abroad to go and study, they can't come down here because the security is not guaranteed. The kids are turned into armed robbers and bandits and trying to kidnap people and demand for ransom, and you got to pay because you did not groom them, right? You are grooming your own, and you do not groom the majority out there. So there is need to groom that sector, the government to front it, government to own it, government to start it, invite private sectors into it, and definitely that is that human capacity development. We must prioritize it, put structures on ground, give them the security, fund them. Nigerians, we are good. We know how to do things. Once you give them an environment, you see the best of the young Nigeria. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. We have been speaking with Chidima Makao Chukwu. She is the Executive Director of Novali Girl Child Empowerment Foundation. We're not done yet, Chidima. Please hang on. We'll go on a break briefly. When we return from this break, I want to speak to you. Since you are the Executive Director of Novali and you do with women and girl child empowerment, the tourism or heritage tourism industry employ lots of women and girls in that sector, in that industry. So we want to know, since you teach them entrepreneurial skills, empower women and girl child, we're going to be anchoring that part of the conversation when we return from this break. Now, do stay with us.
Afrobeats is a classic overnight success story, except it didn't happen overnight. I'm happy to be here. One of the key things about the Omniverse is that it's designed to go beyond an event and designed to be fully something that people can engage beyond the summit. The point being that Nigeria has so much to bring to the world in terms of these things, but we will be bringing fresh energy, fresh ideas, a fresh engagement, and we're obviously open to collaboration. But hip-hop, it never dies. What's the difference between Thor and Shango? Thor is approaching $50 billion in revenue. Shango's broke somewhere outside Lagos. And that's a lack of imagination on our part, Africa, and they're all Nigerian. So to be seen and to be noticed is very hard if you're not in the place where all the noise is being made.
Known as the father of African literature, Chinua Achebe was born on the 16th of November 1930 in Ogidi, now Anambra State, eastern Nigeria. He was born to Isaiah Okafor Achebe, a teacher and an evangelist, and Janet Anenichi Iluegbunam, a vegetable farmer. Achebe has reshaped the global understanding of African identity through the power of storytelling. Raised during the twilight of colonial rule, Achebe's education was steeped in both Igbo tradition and the Western values of post-colonial Christianity. As a student at the University of Ibadan, he became fiercely critical of how Africa was portrayed in Western literature. Achebe believed that Western literature often painted Africa as a dark and primitive continent, but he sought to tell the African people's lens. In 1958, Achebe's groundbreaking novel Things Fall Apart shattered colonial narratives through the tragic story of Okonkwo, an Igbo warrior. Achebe illuminated the complexities of African culture and the devastating effects of European colonization. Things Fall Apart became more than just a novel. It became a symbol of African resistance against the oppressive narratives of colonialism. Achebe was not just a writer. He was a passionate advocate for African self-determination, and his political activism made him a critical voice in the post-colonial era. Even after a life marked by personal and political struggles, including a car accident that left him partially paralyzed, Achebe continued to inspire. He taught at Bard College and later Brown University, where his influence reached new generations of writers and thinkers. He was married to Christiana Chinwe Okoli and they had 4 children. Sadly, he died in March 2013 at the age of 82. Chinua Achebe's legacy endures in his novels, his essays, and in the countless voices of African writers who follow in his footsteps. He gave us a voice, a story, and a vision of Africa that is ours to share.
Wole Soyinka, born Akiwande Oluwole Babatunde Soyinka on July 13, 1934, in Abeokuta, Ogun State, southwest Nigeria, stands as one of Africa's most celebrated literary figures and a global icon of resistance against oppression. His life and works reflect an unwavering commitment to justice, culture, and the transformative power of art. Soyinka was born into a Yoruba family in colonial Nigeria, an environment that exposed him to both traditional African culture and Western education. His father, Samuel Ayodele Soyinka, was a school headmaster, while his mother, Grace Eniola Soyinka, was a devoted Anglican. This blend of indigenous and colonial influences deeply shaped Soyinka's world. Soyinka attended Government College Ibadan and later proceeded to the University College Ibadan, where he studied English and literature. Soyinka completed his education at the University of Leeds in England, earning a degree in English and later a doctorate degree. In the late 1950s, Soyinka began working as a dramaturgist at the Royal Court Theatre in London. However, his passion for storytelling and cultural preservation drew him back to Nigeria, where he founded 2 theatre groups known as the 1960 Masks and the Orisun Theatre Company. Soyinka's works, often a fusion of Western dramatic techniques and African themes, address universal issues of justice, freedom, and human dignity. His early play, titled A Dance of the Forest, which was introduced in 1960, written to celebrate Nigeria's independence, critically examined the nation's socio-political trajectory, setting the tone for his career as both artist and activist. Soyinka's activism became more visible during Nigeria's post-independence years. In 1967, during the Nigerian Civil War, he called for a ceasefire between federal forces and Biafran separatists. This led to his arrest by the military government, and he spent 22 months in prison, where he wrote a short drama titled The Man Died, Prison Notes, a harrowing account of his imprisonment and a profound critique of authoritarianism. Soyinka has authored more than 20 works, including plays, novels, poetry, and essays. In 1986, Soyinka became the first African to win the Nobel Prize of Literature, an achievement that brought global recognition to African literature. Soyinka remained an outspoken critic of oppressive regimes, often at great personal risk. His activism extended beyond Nigeria, addressing global issues of injustice and human rights. During periods of military rule in Nigeria, he went into exile, continuing to write and speak against tyranny. Today, Soyinka is celebrated not only as a literary giant, but also as a symbol of resilience and moral courage.
Welcome back. We've been speaking with Chidima Makauchuku. She's the Executive Director of Novali. Welcome back to the program and many thanks for joining us. Okay, she will join us in the course of the second half of the program. So I was making references okay, Ms. Chidima Makauchuku, if you're with us, could you please unmute your device so we can hear you?
Okay, okay. Can you hear me now?
Very clearly. Thank you. Many thanks for joining us again. Now, before we went on the break, I said we were going to have conversation concerning your organization, Novali. You're an executive director of that non-profit making organization, and you are involved in empowering women and girls. And in this industry we're talking about, in tourism and the hospitality industry, most of the time women and girls seem to be dominating the workforce in that industry. So what sort of training do you provide for them so we can have efficient and effective manpower for the easy operationalization or functioning of that industry?
Okay, so the most important thing I always go for when it comes to the girl child is to educate her. First, give her education. That's why we also took it as a primary role in our scale of preference or whatever we are bringing as an initiative and empowerment for the girl children in Nigeria. In a few days, on 27, I'll be turning a year older. I'll be leading a global call for fundraising for scholarship of children. We are targeting 37,000 children across 36 states plus LCT. And we are positive, even with our resources and what we publish, because we want to have a journey where the public will go with us. We are targeting 1,000 girls per state. Currently, we have over 7.6 million Nigerian girls that are out of school. In addition to those that have not been before moving out, before going. So that's one. I concentrate on education, make sure the girl child, within our foundation, we have had um, young girls that are done with their tertiary institution. They could not go to law school. We took care of them. We have currently the ones in the tertiary institution are taking care of them, the primary too. Not only the girls side, there are a few boys side, cases of vulnerable parents not being able, so we add them too. But the concentration is on the girl child. That's purposely what the foundation stands for. So the education is number one. After the education is the skill training. So the skills are more of skills that are in line with where the world is going to. We are talking about the fashion designing. We are talking about the cybersecurity. The cybersecurity is at a course in collaboration with some education agencies here in Nigeria, both physically and online. Then we now have the ones that want to go into drones, drone production in affiliation with few persons that are doing it. So the idea is we take you to where you can do this and get you skilled up, take care of whatever is needed, be responsible to make sure that you succeed and come out of it, and we enable your startup. So the startup, we now monitor you and see, hey, how are you going? Are you going well? Put your branding and your visibility and with what you are doing. Now the idea is you must go to school. But for those that did not go to school and we met them and they're already on skill and have the passion to still go back. So it will now be a dual responsibility to make sure that the person is in school as a part-time or sandwich and also be positive and doing well in that skills. So the bottom line is about, because the girl child, to be honest, we are more than the boy children in Nigeria, in the whole world. We are always more in population. So, and because we are always more in population, our needs are always more, and we are always in their needs to be taken care of. Because one thing about the girl child is if you don't take care of her from the child stage, and she went through and she put a step to the wrong path, it's affecting everybody around her in the future. Her parents, because she's from her home. She has siblings, the society, where she works, everything, how she talks, how she carries herself. if she's not properly nurtured in the right way, she will come up, I'm sorry, as a disaster and as a nuisance. So that's the passion and the purpose behind the foundation, to make sure as many as any girl child we are able to reach out to, we are able to take care of, or we are able to extend our hands to. We make sure that they don't be the same as we made them, positively. For the education, nurturing, mentorship opportunities, employment that might come up. We have several of them with some government opportunities that might come out. I feel like, okay, this person has the certificate and can go for it. Oh, we push for it, we secure some, we do not secure some, but we are still moving. So the bottom line is about giving education, digital literacy, skills, startup, making sure they are good. That's what the foundation targets, and we are targeting the girl child. Like I said, our plan fundraising for 27th of August is to put more kids inside school, bring them back to school, not only about their education fees, but also about their parents, who is taking care of them, what's going on with them, how do we support, how do we make the environment conducive for them to go to school, come back, how are they being fed, what's going on around the school, how it's their uniform, how it's their books, how mentally their esteem, how is it up to point to give that girl child the enabling environment to study and become the best part of her, explore potentials about in her, and at the same time become a positive vessel for the country. Because I thank God for NGOs in Nigeria, in as much as the little everybody is contributing. In a way, we are building the nation. In a way, we are handling and minimizing nuisance and minimizing social ills. So the most important thing is about adding value and be passionate about adding value and making sure the values added are properly implemented and executed, so that at the end of the day we have better citizens, better girls, better ladies, good mothers, well-trained young ladies that Nigeria will be proud of. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, Chidima Mako Chuku. So, how do we strike a balance between commercialization and preserving the authenticity of heritage sites?
Yet that's where the passion about the history has to come in. That's why we have this site. In as much as we want to generate a lot of revenue, in as much as we want to make money, we must make sure that we don't sell everything we have. We must make sure that we don't privatize and put it in the hands of people that we destroy what's left. Because we're trying to preserve what's left. We're trying to preserve the pain and the bad history. But in as much as it is, I'm building reconciliation at the same time with it. So the most important thing is that all hands that want to invest or commercialize our tourist site was make sure that Nigeria doesn't lose at the end of the day. Was make sure that the community doesn't lose at the end of the day. Don't turn your tourist site and give it for privatization that is 100% one-off. No, that's why I always pray that we have educated people in each community, people that know what's going on, good lawyers, good attorneys, good people that understand investment and how to go about it. So when you have the good hands, definitely we will not sell off what we have, and definitely we will preserve it. So in as much as we want to gain money, we want to have money, we want to increase our IGI, but make sure that we don't sell off and we maintain and sustain whatever left. Because the world we are going in the next 100 years, we will not be here. So it's our children and grandchildren that will sustain what's left. So we should have it at the back of our mind that sustainability and maintenance must be a culture of what's left and whoever we are privatizing with. Thank you.
Okay. Now, as we near the final end of today's program on Just Africa, I would like to ask your final words, both as a way of an advice to potential investors in heritage tourism and tourism industry in Africa and in Nigeria, and also your final words to the governments that are saddled with the responsibility of creating the right atmosphere and ecosystem for investors to pour in, because investment coming in can ameliorate, could serve as providing employment opportunities to the unemployed, could also serve as developing the local and the rural areas, and also can also serve as providing a means of social infrastructural development to the rural areas where most of these heritage tourism sites are located. So what's your final word for both the government and the potential investors?
Yeah, to the government, we must prioritize this sector. We must put them into consideration and push for funding to maintain this and explore areas that we can put instructions that can be put in place so that we can invite tourists, we can attract tourists, and we can increase our Nigeria. Security, enabling environment. That's their own part of the role to play. Fund it, secure the environment, diversify options, put up structures, sustain and maintain what left. Then to the private sectors that are the investors that are out there, Nigeria is open to investment. Our tourist sites, if you can come in and help us manage it, at the same time help us sustain it, and don't deprive us of the total equity in the preservation and the maintenance. We are good, everybody, it's good. Come in, invest, make your money. We are good. Give back to the community where you meet the sites at or where you meet the sites in, and make sure that you don't leave them the way you made them, positively, not in exploration or exploiting what they have, exploiting their sites. Then to the citizens that have this sites or memories, do your best to preserve it as you're waiting for investors to come. Push for government to come and notice these areas. Don't don't try to and keep it in a state that it will be so vulnerable that nothing can come out of it when our investors or even government wants to come and take actions on them. And on heritage tourism, every African must encourage it as you're in the diaspora. Any small chance opportunity you have, bring people to where you come from, where you are coming from. Bring people down. And I know we have issues of security, but we still have secure states, and like we have Abuja, we have Lagos. Yeah, those ones I can give you 100% guarantee they are secure. Bring your people home, invest so that you also increase the IGR and give the visibility to Nigeria as one of the safe countries to come. You know, Lagos, it's I think is the fifth leading tallest city in, I think second. Sorry, I'm not correct with the data, but I know there is one that they are second, there is one they are fifth in Africa. So we should encourage more states to come on board. Most we are 36 plus FCT, so one cannot be doing that so well. Other states should go and know why are they thriving, what's going on with them, and learn from them, inculcate it in what they're doing. And at the end of the day, Nigeria will be good for all of us. It's our country, we don't have any other country. So collectively, we make it work for everybody. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chidimama Kauchuku, the Executive Director of No Valley Girl, Child and Empowerment Foundation, a non-profit making organization dedicated to advancing education, skills development, and empowerment for girls and young women in Nigeria. Thank you so much for your time with us today on Just Africa.
Thank you for having me. I'm grateful. See you some other time. Thank you.
Very much welcome. Yeah, so when I was making references to the fact that in this industry, you have most girls and women in that specific. So I was very, very certain when I was asking about training to retain them, to make sure there is, we have the required manpower, so that when investors come in, investors will not be required to go bring in foreigners to come and manage that sector or that industry for us. And that will be that when we have investors pouring in capital, when they make their profit, and sometimes when they repatriate their profit, we have some who are left over, who are being retained there by virtue of the workforce that we are providing.
Well, it's good we have foreign investors, but I would also encourage local investors more, because I think local investors would understand the terrain, will understand the importance, the authenticity of preserving that heritage site. They understand it because it has some form of historical meaning, it has some form of relevance, it has some form of relation to a local investor. Someone from Ogun State would want to put money into Olumo Rock or any other place because I know that's where I'm from. So I would really be more empathetic into investing in something that I know it's my root.
Okay. Now that's where we draw the curtain here on Just Africa. Many thanks for watching. Do well to follow us on our social media platforms at Souqnews TV. I am Oyimpriye Kurumale. Good afternoon to you.
Been a pleasure watching us. Let's do this again. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms at Souqnews Television. I am Olumide Shokoya. Enjoy your weekend.